Guess I don't have to do. Alrighty. Let's see how this stream goes this morning. That's anybody that's popping in right now. That's good. Get everything up and running on this end, guys. Let me see what's going on here. That's what I need. Move this guy over here so I can see what's going on. Okay. All right, let's see. We're gonna go here. Boom, 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 boom. Actually, I don't want to go there. Let me back that up. So I want to make sure this is getting recorded. And making sure my OBS is doing what it's supposed to do. All right, give you guys a chance to start popping in. It'll also give me a chance to start getting warmed up here. Kind of tell you what's going on, give you a little idea of things that are coming up. Some actually really cool things. So I'll give everybody a little bit of time to start filtering in. I need to move a couple things first. I'm gonna need one of these. All right, so I got my 11 by 17 here. I'm actually gonna pop this up a little bit so we can see things a little easier. Not too much. No, let's swap these two here. There we go. That's way better, right? I'd like to stay a little better. Okay, so this is my 11 by 17 paper that I'm going to use for this project. So let some people jump in. Oh, looky there. One of my favorite people is on there. She's awesome. My lovely, lovely wife. It's the best cheerleader ever. Okay. Should be looking good. Yeah, we got some technical issues. That's what delayed this whole cast. And I had to go get breakfast, so that's part of it too. All right, so what does today look like? We have something super dope that was just launched this morning. Now, anybody that knows me, I do a lot of crazy things, but I think this is probably my craziest thing that I've done to date. Okay, let me pull this up so that way people can see it. So a couple of years ago, actually it might be more than a couple of years ago, probably like, yeah, actually this is way more than a couple of years ago, back during COVID. Okay, so the story goes like this. Back during COVID, if you were around to experience it, you will know that we had a period of time where we weren't able to do a lot of things. We were kind of stuck in a very weird place. And that made things very difficult for everyone, especially for people that had like these businesses that had been going around for a while. Now, one of the places that I support, and they really support myself and a whole bunch of other independent artists, is this company called Famous Faces and Funnies. I have been working with Famous Faces and Funnies for several years, where they were the first people that ever let me put a book in their store that I drew, and that's significant for me personally. It's probably one of the biggest highlights outside of actually doing the book that I've ever had. But they definitely support independent artists. That's one of their big staples. Um, so that being said, during that period of time, they were running into a problem because people could not come into the store regularly. So they had to kind of pivot. They had to kind of reinvent how they did things. And it actually worked out to their benefit because they went from a platform where people would strictly just come into their store or buy their stuff on eBay, um, to where they now had like this small, like, core group of people that would come through, but they also went into the streaming market. So that's when they were doing like Facebook Lives, and so they would start selling a lot of their used books. They would start selling some of their new stuff. Pop figures were really, really big for them at that point in time. So they were definitely jumping into that. How are you doing, Art by Jeffrey? Um, so they were really jumping into that whole medium. The good part was is that they wanted to push it a little further. So um, they wanted to have artists come in and help out. So Jeffrey, where are you joining us from? Oh, sweet. I found my list. Perfect. Cool, 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 cool. All right. So, going back to my story, they were wanting to give incentives to people that were supporting them. So the incentive was, oh, I was just curious, where are you joining us from? Right. Oh, that's an Italian artist. I gotta check out. Alabama. Nice. Sweet. Well, welcome to the stream. Definitely appreciate you coming on. So I'm giving a little backstory to this thing that I'm about to announce here in just a sec. Um, so this comic book shop that I had, um, you're gonna like this whole thing that I'm about to share here in just a second. So this comic book shop that I was working with, they wanted to give an incentive to their patrons. So not only did the people get a comic book or comic books in their order, so they ordered $10 minimum, $10 worth of books. Actually, I'm sorry, $25 worth of books. They would get their stuff shipped to them, but also they would get something like this. They would get a cool little piece of artwork, one of a kind, not commissioned, just random artwork from one of the local artists. Okay, so I kept on seeing a couple of my friends, from the store doing this stuff. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, I got to be part of this. This is awesome. I went into it with no, rewards or anything like that. I wasn't asking for anything. I just wanted to be a part of it. And I ended up just randomly going through and I made lists of characters I wanted to do. There was no rhyme or reason to those characters, but I ended up doing these cards for a whole bunch of people. It eventually got to a point where I was just kind of running out of ideas, and I asked the staff of, popular things that people are into, and I ended up doing cards of different characters from video games to movies to anime and whatnot. So it ended up coming out to, I think, the last running total was like 750 something cards that I did over the course of, like, I think, just a hair over 3 to 6. I would think it was between 3 to 6 months, somewhere in there. But this is just some of the newer ones that I've done over the last few months. So I've got like Aang, I have Mr. Sinister, nice little Savage Dragon. I actually did this on the stream. This was like one of my first pieces I ever did. Thanos, and then of course you got Daredevil. Now these guys are still available for purchase, but that's not what today's all about. Today is about something called Road to 1,000. So this is how this is going to go. And I apologize for the glare, but I'm going to try to get this to you guys the best I can. So this is the sketch card series I'm going to be doing. So on the heels of our Inktober, Inktober was where we just drew things that were we were given prompts and we drew it based upon those prompts. I took on the X-Men series and I got to do everybody from like Jubilee, Juggernaut, Professor X, all the main people, and then there were some random ones in there. But this is the list that I'm going to start out with, and basically here's how it goes. I have 1,000 sketch cards I will be creating from scratch. There will be no duplicates, there will only be originals. And in each batch, it's going to be a batch of 100. So in this case, it's just I'm going to start off with the Marvel stuff because that tends to be my favorite. And in that Marvel set, I have people like Adam Warlock, Agent 13, Ant Man, Angel. Um, I got a Nihilus in there. Let's see here. Who else do I have? I have Bishop, Beast, Beta Ray Bill, which I think I've only drawn him once out of that whole thing. Cable, Blade, one of my favorite characters. Cannonball, Captain America, of course, Captain Britain, Captain Marvel. We're gonna do some Carnage. Obviously, we're gonna do some Daredevil again. We're gonna do Darkhawk. I'm gonna do Dazzler again. Check her out. Death, who I've only drawn. Actually, I've never drawn Death. I've never drawn Death, so this will be my first. Dormammu, and again, the list goes on and on and on because this is just characters that one I've either not drawn, and 100% I can definitely say I've never drawn in this medium. So again, the way the list is going to work, it's 1,000 cards. So the goal is to get to 1,000 before the end of this time next year, and I will not release the next layer of this, the next 100, until I finish the one I'm working on. So I have to get through the whole Marvel set in order to get to the next set. And I will be very transparent and say that the next set is going to be DC based characters. I already have the list ready to go. But I want to go ahead and just throw that out here because you guys are some of the very few people that are going to get to know about it first. It got rolled out today at 9 a.m. on my Instagram, and I'm going to put it on um, Facebook and all of my other social media. So that way, people, if they want to order them, they want to pre-order, they can go ahead and get their stuff done first. Otherwise, I am going to start at A and work my way all the way down. So if you want to go on there, take a look at it. My Instagram's on there. You can jump on it and grab whatever you want. But today I'm going to go set up some stuff, and then I'm going to try to do a couple of these cards while I'm online. Get them ready for the show that I actually have tomorrow. And it's too bad that you're not in Florida because we have something called PalmCon tomorrow. Sorry, that starts this weekend, and it's going to be going from Saturday to Sunday. Small local convention that I finally got a chance to be part of again. I've been out of the convention circuit for quite some time, so this is my first real one back. And I'm not gonna lie, I got to wipe the dust off a little bit. There's a lot of rust, but the cool part is that for the first time, really, my wife and I actually get to work this one together. We've done other things together in terms of like free comic book day and stuff of that nature, but this will be the first one that we actually get to work together on a thing like this. So it'll be really dope. So Jeffrey, what kind of stuff do you do? Oh man, I didn't know I had those in there. I don't want to talk your ear off. What kind of stuff do you do, Jeffrey? Okay. The measurement on these. I don't know if they're the right size. 3.5 by 2.5. Yeah, I'll do it. Okay, that's good. Just do a whole bunch of these in here, and we'll cut them up later. So 1, 2, and this is 3. Space. 1, 2, 3. Space. 1, 2, 3. So oops, well, 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then 1. Okay, that's perfect. That way I give myself enough room to play with. I gotta do this on the other side too. Yeah, I think this is gonna be a really dope challenge. It's gonna be hard. I think once I get past the initial 100, that'll be my a gauge to start with. Hey, Smoking Wax, welcome to the stream. Just letting everyone know the thing that I'm going to be doing here over the next year. It's going to be a nice little sketch card series, 1,000 cards in a year. It's kind of one of those stupid goals, but I'm going to do it. But I'm doing it a little bit at a time. And there's a reason for me breaking it up. There's actually two reasons. Number one, I believe that everyone should have goals, right? Like everyone should have not just goals, but wins. And when I say wins, you want to be able to do artwork and be like, I'm accomplished. Like I hit a mark, right? If you're doing 1,000, that is a very large number. If you look at that, it's very overwhelming. Whereas if you break it down into say like 20, and in this case, I have like my set per like my pages that I have for each of these the batches. So there's 20 characters per page. Well, Shannon, welcome back. So I have 20 per page. So I'm going to do those 20, move on, do the next 20, move on from there, 20, 20, 20. Just keep on going through until I get through the 100. So that's 5 pages. So it's really attainable. I am doing very well, Shannon. How are you doing this Thursday? All right. Well, not bad is better than not good. But yeah, that's number one. It's just having those little small wins throughout this. So if I do 20, guess what? That's a win, right? Once I get to the 100, I have 5 little wins in there. So that's perfect. So now I have 100 cars that are done, whether they be sold or not. I've done that part of it. Um, well, I really do appreciate you jumping in here. I really do. I mean, it's always good to have you on the cast. Are you working on your artwork still? That is good. Are you just still doing the illustration? Or are you going to start jumping into painting? All right, there we go. So that's going to give me a nice little set there. Illustrating, okay, that works. Well, you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's where everything starts. So that's a good thing. I'm telling you, you have a very unique idea for your artwork, and that is definitely a good niche. I can definitely tell you, not a lot of people do. I can't wait to see where your artwork is, like say from a year from now. Oh, that's dope. Yeah, I think you're going to see some tremendous growth here in the next little bit. It's going to be like, wow, you know what I mean? I think you'll be so proud of yourself once it's all said and done. I don't know why I did that. That was just stupid. One, two, one. That was a waste. All right, no worries. It's okay. Oh, that's cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what you can come up with at Christmas time. I mean, there's so much material that you can use. Like, there's so many good verses that you can pull out of that. So many great visuals that you can create. That's only two. Yeah, like I said, I'm excited to see what you come up with. Yeah, I would say if anything, I mean, if you can start putting that stuff out there now. That's really cool. That is really, really cool. You have one hell of an accomplishment there. I almost feel like you got to, really put your story out there in a visual way. It doesn't, you don't have to, write it out, but if you were able to depict it illustratively, I think it could definitely help people. My hat's off to you for being able to do that. I mean, that's hard. Two, one, two. Yeah, it's gonna be cool to see. I have no doubt you're gonna have some serious tears when you have that happen in May. I mean, I think it's a great accomplishment. It's hard, because when you have the devil on your back, man, it's so hard to get him off. I tell everybody, man, it's really, really easy to be bad or to do or get involved in bad things, especially when we're trying to escape from stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's huge. And I think, you being able to, use these biblical verses, you can kind of incorporate things like, um, think about like, who is it? I'm trying to think of the person that I'm thinking of. So, like Delilah, right? That's actually a good story. So, you have Delilah and Samson, right? And Delilah was kind of like the snake in the grass. That was his, you know, his drug of choice. He wasn't, sleeping around with a whole bunch of women or anything like that, but his drug of choice was Delilah, and she ultimately cost him his life and his freedom. But something like that, like your story could probably help so many people. So many people. That'd be crazy to see what happens. I don't know who Abigail Brand is. No idea who that is. I don't know what's going on with this. That's weird. So many of my buddies are going to be online. Definitely got a CK. Who else is going to be on there today? Yeah, my buddies are famous faces. That'd be cool. All right. Yeah, there's just so much. Your story is very rich. Let's see something here. Well, if I don't know who Abigail Brand is, I'm going to find somebody else that I can draw because I don't know that person. Maybe I do know who Abigail Brand is from Marvel. Just don't know. Let's see if we can do this setup here. There we go. Much better. Yeah, I would say, um, wow, that is awesome. That's really cool. I'm very proud of you. See, that's a feather in your cap. That's a win. You can't knock that. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty dope. I'm proud of you. I'd be stoked too. That is really cool. Wow. If I ever told a lie like that, not a lie, but I was talking to one of my students yesterday, and was talking about the I. He goes to me. He goes like, "I can't do this," and I looked at him yesterday. I'm like, "Do not ever say you can't do something." He's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "If you ever say can't, you are giving yourself an excuse not to do something, and it's fact. I mean, that is facts. It's very easy to say can't. Like I can't make $1 million. Oh yeah, you can. You can. You just got to put in the damn effort to get it. But like he was running into an issue where he hadn't written a paper in years, right? Which makes sense. Um, so he was like, um, I can't do this. And I was like, yeah, you can. Because what's going to end up happening is that you are going to do a little bit at a time. I think 1,000 words is going to really mess with you in a bad way. So I think if you take it and you break it up, just like what I'm doing with this project, and break it up where you can do it in more digestible pieces, you'll be able to be more successful. I said, okay, well, you have 2 weeks to do this. And you take those 2 weeks and you run with that. You run with those 2 weeks. You go like, okay, this day I'm going to do 4 pages. This day I'm going to do 200 words. The next day I'm going to do another couple hundred words, and just keep doing that until you get to the ultimate goal, right? Whoops, I got to get this tab to come up here. Where is it? Okay. Excuse me. So he and I were just going back and forth on it, and I didn't want him to fail. I really don't want anyone to have to fail. But these are lessons that we have to know as students, as people, because eventually you're going to have to go into a real world where you're going to have to not only, articulate your rationale, right? You're also going to have to be able to write it out because some people are more, written learners, others are more oral learners, and you just got to be able to accommodate all of those different folks. So it just goes to show that if you think about it differently, you go about it differently, you can get a different result. And if you're giving yourself roadblocks by default, you're never going to go anywhere. Sorry, guys, I gotta pull up this piece because I don't know where it's at. Oh, there we go. Perfect. There we go. And I'm going to go into my list because I want to see what it is. I'm going to have to get a better version of this list put up online. Okay, so I'm writing these down so that way I don't forget them. I'm going to do them per page so that way it just makes my life easy. So I got Adam Warlock. I'm going to have Agent 13. We're going to have Amandus Cho. I don't know who that is. Cool. What else do I got up in there? Just me? Thanks, Shannon might have dipped a little bit. Are you still there, Shannon? America Chavez. Um, Angel. I'm gonna do a nihilist, even though my list is a little messy, but I'm gonna do a nihilist again because I haven't done him but once. Did that as a commission. First time ever seen that character, and he was actually pretty dope. So I got a nihilist. I'm gonna gotta do an Ant-Man. We're gonna do Scott Lang's Ant-Man. Then Apocalypse. One of my favorite characters to work with. I don't know who Aurora is, but I'm going to check that person out, figure him out. Then I got Banshee. Let's see. And then we're going to have Baron Zemo. Okay, so that gives me a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay. The only reason my list is a little messed up because I added one more in there, but we have 12 in there. In fact, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to skip it. I'm going to do it anyway. So this is one of those things where I'm a little not wanting to do something, and I have this character. Her name is Abigail Brand. I've never drawn her, and one of the things that I have to get over, and most artists have to, kind of concede to, is that there's going to be things that you are not going to want to draw, right? And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really like feel this character. I don't really like the design too much, but that's not the issue. I mean, I just got to do this character. I was looking for a more obscure one when I was doing a list, and I'm okay with that. I can deal with this. It's just finding the right version of her that I'm going to like to draw. Again, it always goes back. You're going to find things that you don't want to do, but the thing that I tell people is that when we run into these situations where we have characters that we don't want to do, it's usually there for a reason. We're at a wall in our creative process, and we just don't want to get past that wall. And that is actually one of the best things that you can do for yourself. Hitting a wall is a great thing. because it means that there's something on the other side of that wall that's going to make you better. So what is it? What are you going to do? Are you just going to sit idle? Are you going to do something and make something dope? Are you going to run for the goal? Or are you going to be lazy? I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't want to be known as being one of those people that just did not, you know, give their best. And I can move forward. I like being stronger and I like pushing myself. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this. You know, maybe I should go ahead and just attack some of the people that are like the more popular ones. You know, do a Deadpool and all that kind of good stuff. Get things moving in the right direction. Hey V, how you doing? Nice to see you on here. I'm feeling the avatar. I like it. I was just letting everybody know about the list. Back, let me send this over to you so that way you can have this list. Oh, I got it right here. I don't know why I'm doing all this. Copy that link. Yeah, that Avatar's fire. People give that movie a lot of crap, but I love that movie, and I love the book. The book is very unique. Paste this bad boy in there. There you go. I think that link should get you where this thing is at. Yeah, I got to get a high res version of that thing. I unfortunately the one that I uploaded, I knew it was going to happen. Luckily, I have that reference, so I can just fix it and make a new one. So 1,000 people, 1,000 characters. I can't wait to do the video game one because I already have a whole bunch of ideas for that. So that one should go pretty smooth. This one's going to be a little bit more challenging because it's got characters I've never worked with. I should say not only people that I've never worked with, but also characters that I haven't drawn in a while. Okay, let me send that over to you real quick here. Let me get that thing all set up for you. Let me do this here. It's going to be the best way to do this. Trying to think of the best way for us to do it so that way I don't run into some time issues. That's the only thing I'm worried about because it has to be in your hands. Like if I do the purchase today, you know what? We'll do it. I think I'll do it as a tip. That way. So okay, I know how we're gonna do it. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. So we're gonna do it as a tip, right? And then we will have you do the shipping separately once everything's done. So we'll do the tip first, And then once it's all done, I'll touch base with you, and then we'll do the purchase for the shipping. How's that sound? Okay. Let me go ahead and grab everything so that way we're good. Let me do this. Let me get your list real fast, and that way I can just make sure I have everything. Okay. So got those. You're not on that list. Not on that one. Oh, I'm definitely bringing that. All right, I got a couple different lists that I got to pull from, so that way I can make sure I got the right stuff. Not that one. Nope. Ah, here it is. I found it. I found it. I'm good. All right, let me grab my tablet and just add all this stuff together. So I was just looking at your list yesterday because I was wrapping this guy up. Okay. So where is it? There it is. Okay. So let's go over and just make sure we got the right people. So I sent you a screenshot, but we're gonna look at the movie side. I have you for Jack Sparrow, um, uh, Montoya from Princess Bride, Rufio from Hook, Teddy Roosevelt from Night at the Museum, Tomb Raider, Lara Croft, the Angelina Jolie version. So there's 5 on that one. Then I have um, Anastasia, Hopper, Bugs Bunny, and Lola Bunny from Space Jam. Was that Guido or Guido from? Guido from Cars, Luigi from Cars, Lightning McQueen from Cars, and then Death from Marvel. I think that's everybody. So 5 from the movie characters, 7 from the cartoon characters, and then 1 from. Now it'll be 2 from Marvel. How does that sound? Okay. Let me go ahead and do this. Let me get a total together here so that way we have everything, and then we'll be good to go. All right. So let me do that. Where is it? Um, know what I want to do. And photo. Yeah, so your cards will probably be done by Monday, mainly because I'm going to have time to work on them this week. Maybe Tuesday at the latest, they'll probably be done. But that way, I don't run into an issue where they ding me for not getting stuff out to you on time, and I definitely don't want that to happen. I don't want to have a bad expectation for you. Okay. So I'm gonna still honor that the pricing that I told you. So, like I said, they were going to be 15 a piece. Because you're getting the lot, I'm just going to drop them down to 10 a piece. So that's 7 there, and then there's 2 here. So we got 5, we have 7, and then 2, which makes 14. Okay. So what I'll do here today is we'll do 130 We'll do 130 for the tip, and then as soon as they're done, I will send you a whatnot to purchase the shipping tag for everything, and that'll be the extra 10. So that way it'll balance itself out. How does that sound? Let me get you this list because I want to make sure you and I are on the same page. Oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah, just let me know. And then whatever the total is, like say, let's just say for example, you do 20 of them, then you do 10 times the amount, the total of them. So if we do 20, it'd be 200, and you'd only just do the tip for 190. Okay, so it'll be 10 less because the when everything's done, I'll send you that whatnot piece so that way you have the correct amount. Hey, Cindy, nice to have you on the stream. Yeah, so I don't know if you're just jumping in or not, but I'm doing a nice little sketch card series here, 1,000 different cards. I don't know if that's your thing or not, but they make like good little Christmas gifts too. Yeah, V's on here. V just went ahead and got a whole bunch of the sketch cards, some that are not even on this list. All right, so I think that character is ready to rock and roll. I don't know if I want to do her with long hair, ponytail. All right, so I'm gonna poll a question because I got two of you on here. So should I do this character with a ponytail, short hair, or long hair? Trust me, there's no bad answer. So I can do any of them. I'm drawing people with guns. It's fun. This is a little bit more of a challenge because I don't have a lot of real estate to tinker with. All right, so you know what? Let me take a look and see if she's on that list real fast. I'll let you know. I think she is, but I could be wrong. Oh, here it is. Boom. Why can I not see the list? Oh, that's horrible. You guys can't even see the darn list because they're backing up. That's fine. Invisible Woman is on the list. Magic is on the list. Um, Hella is on there. Emma Frost is on it, and is Kitty Pryde on here? Yeah. So all of those are available. So if you want those, you're more than welcome. All right, long here it is. All right, we're going to go long here, and we're going to go with the glasses because I like those. I think those shades are dope. So, are you guys doing anything fun over the weekend? Going to any conventions? You going to hang out with family? Hopefully, not flying anywhere. Okay, let me go ahead and get them up on there so I don't mess that up. All right, I'm gonna write all these down so that way I can take a screenshot and I'll send it on over to you so that way you have them all. I'll try to write as neat as I possibly can. I want to do it on top of my artwork. All right, so let's see here. All right. Alrighty. Can I use this pen? Let's see. All right, so we're just gonna call this sketch cards. Cards for V. All right. So we're gonna start off. I'm just gonna start off the list with the ones that you just the new ones that you got. So we're gonna do Aurora. Now, do you want Aurora from Marvel, correct? Okay, so making sure because I know there's a different Aurora. She's from Disney, so didn't want to mess that up. All right. This is gonna probably take up a whole chunk of your stuff that you wanted to do for your card set. How you doing, Ghost? Welcome to the stream. All right, let me grab my list here. Yeah, I knew I was spelling it wrong. There we go. All right, so we got Aurora. We are going to have Invisible Woman. Okay. We have Magic. Is there a specific version of Magic you would like to see? Are you looking for like the more new school, old school, any particular one? Okay, Kitty Pride. Okay. All right. So she'll still have the big chunky sword, which I can definitely deal with. Not gonna lie, that sword is one of my favorite designs that they've done in Marvel for a while. All right, so these are all the new ones that we got on here. So this is the next set. So we're gonna have Jack Sparrow. Gonna have I think it's Vigo. I think I might have spelled that wrong. Montoya. Um, I'm just gonna put this on here so I know who it is. And we're gonna have I know who Teddy Roosevelt is, so that way I can there's only one movie that I can think of for that one, so Okay. And then Tomb Raider. 2001. 12 is going to be Anastasia. Anastasia. I remember that coming out years ago on actually during winter. Jessica Alba's version. Okay. Okay. I'll never forget. I did a poll between Jessica Alba and Jessica Biel one year, and people were like, "Yeah, you definitely got to go for Jessica Biel." And she was like at her height at that point. She wasn't like where she is now. She's a different kind of actress now. She doesn't look the same like she did back then. But Jessica Biel won out. All right, so we got Hopper, got Bugs, Bunny. You're gonna get my first Lola Bunny that River drawn. I've never drawn a Cars character. Lightning McQueen and then Death. All right, so I have 19. Is that correct? I think that's the whole list right there. Yes, she is. Okay. Do you want the Mystique from the comics, or do you want Mystique from the movies? So it's the best part about you doing the order because you get to pick which one you want. Otherwise, you just got to take what I make. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So she's on there. All right. So I have a total of 20. I should put Marvel so that way I don't mess that up. Okay. So that's what your list looks like right there. I'll do a screenshot of it. Since you're going to be doing 20, the total will be 200, but we're going to do 190 in the tip, and then we'll do 10 for the shipping billing when I wrap up all these cards. So initially, I thought I was going to do Tuesday. I might go a little longer, only because we got a long list. So we'll make it look good. I got you. Okay. All right. Well, I'm like I said, I'm not. That's why I don't want to even rush it. I'm not even gonna because when I rush, I make mistakes, and I definitely want to give each one of these their love, give each one of them their flowers. So whenever you're ready, you can just go ahead, just go into the tip system, just do 190. I'll see it pop through, and then, like I said, I'm gonna start working on these within this next day or so. So you'll get your own sheet like this. I mean, I'm going to cut it up and everything, but this is basically where it's going to start. So you got a big sheet like this guy. Now, just so you're aware, when you get your cards, they're not going to be in those little plasticky sleeves because they're, you know how like Pokemon cards, you get the little plastic, like the thin ones. All of the ones that I'm going to send you are in the hard plastic sleeves. I just want to give you a heads up so that way you know. Sorry, I'm just pulling up some reference over here. Uh, okay. So sorry. I usually am a lot more talkative in the morning. All right, cool. Oh, let me actually go grab one, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. I'll show you the difference between the two. It's gonna run up to go grab a couple of them. Right back. Actually, you know what? I'm still gonna send these to you as these, but I know you said you're gonna put them in a binder. But here's the hard plastic, and then like I said, like when you get Pokemon sleeves, they're more like these soft plastic sleeves. Pull one out so that way you can see the difference. Welcome, Mel Mel. All right, so you got like the flimsy plastic, and then you got the hard plastic. So my stuff goes out in these, even though I got these little dinky looking ones. You'll end up getting these right here. Okay. I mean, the other option that I can do for you, because I'm going to be doing like sets for my show, is I could just give you, I could send them to you like this, like in one of these guys here. I can send it to you in one of those with all like you'll have all 9 of them, put them in there. Then you can just adjust them accordingly, however you want. But I can send it to you like that. You tell me which one you want to do. So you have those 3 options. You can either get the little soft slip cover, you can get the hard one. You pick, and I'll send it out to you however you'd like. Either way, it's going to be really super protected, so you're in good shape. I know that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give her this kind of look. Okay, I'll go ahead and definitely make that. Gotcha. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. That makes more sense. Okay. I'll make sure that you get them all in those so that way you have them and they're in good shape. Okay, there's Aurora. So you actually you're gonna get Aurora because Aurora's down here. I know you can't see it, but she's right there. So I'm gonna be drawing her today. So at least I'll get to that one before the day's end. So that'll be cool. Okay. I'll definitely make sure you get all of those. I'm not a big fan of these little slide ones. I think I'm gonna give those to my buddy that does Pokemon stuff, and I'll be like, "Hey, here, you can have these. Enjoy." They gave me two. They gave me 100 of them. I'm never gonna use them. I like stuff to be well protected, so I don't want to do that. Yeah, I agree. 100%. 100%. Yeah, I have more of those coming. I'll end up getting. I think I'll have like 200 of them that are going to be coming in. Those should be here today. Yeah, the show's going to be kind of nuts. I was there last year, and my buddy was just kicking tail last year. I'm not doing it based upon his stuff. I miss being in that arena. Okay, we're gonna do an Adam Warlock. I think I might go old school to Adam Warlock. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let me get you that list there. Move my finger out there. Oh boy, I'm gonna put that underneath there. There we go. And I can send you over a screenshot too if you need it. I'm gonna send you the whole list probably in the in the chat so that way we can also make sure that everything is all square. So we'll make sure you get everything that you asked for. Oh man, I'm taking a look at Adam Warlock from Guardians of the Galaxy. He looks so good, but he was such a wasted character in that movie. Okay, so we'll do the 100 today. And do you want to do the 100 today, or you want to do 190 today? Turn him a little bit, and do I want him to have? No, I'm not going to give him the gauntlet. Oh, okay. It won't let you do the. Then why don't we do it? Trying to think what we could do. Let's do it this way. We'll do. Will it let you do 50? All right, let's do that, and then we'll do the other 50 once I finish up the cards and then get ready to ship. That'll work. That'll work. That'll make things go through just fine. At least that way, I think that'll work out even better because at least that way there is some accountability there. Man, Adam Warlock is a dope looking character. I'm not gonna lie, I would have loved to have seen him do would have seen him with the gauntlet. That would have been awesome. But I know that that was just not something that they could pull off because they hadn't introduced that character yet. But I'm definitely looking forward to this next Marvel series. V, you're definitely going to push me to the limit when it comes to coming up with cool ideas for each one of your cards. So thank you so much. I can't tell you how much how thankful I am for the support. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up Adam Warlock. I will do Aurora, and then I'm going to get your set ready to go. At least I'm going to get it set up so that way I know what I'm doing. Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm not the whole thing in reference to um, giving the whatnot their piece. I think that's cool. I think that's a I think having a platform like whatnot, it's been better for me than even going through things like Square and stuff like that. So I'm happy that they're going to get their little piece. I honestly, their little piece is not that bad for what they get. They could make it a whole lot worse for people. But then again, that's one of the reasons why these other platforms have kind of failed, or some of them are not doing as good as they were doing at one point. So V, you got any plans for the holiday at all? I think I'm going to do this one with the gauntlet because I think that would be dope. I think that'd be cool. Oh, that sucks. So you got to do one of those things like a friendsgiving. like at my work, I was talking about it. I'm like, people always get together. Like when there's food involved, people are like, "I'm down," right? So at my work, there's been like a disconnect. Like you can tell that there's like divisions of different people in there. So they got their little cliques. And not that anybody's like going against each other. It's just that there's no connection. However, I feel like if you do like a Friendsgiving or like a Foodsgiving, that would be cool because everybody now is all together. They get a chance to eat. They get to um, they got to have communion, all that kind of good stuff. It's great. You look like you're holding your crotch there, buddy. I'm looking at my reference for Adam Warlock. I don't know if anybody, who was supervising this, knew that, but he looks like he's holding his crotch. And then if you take a look at the old school one, it looks like he's got a WWE wrestling belt around his waist. Yeah, the holidays are fun if you make them fun. I think some people just don't. I think some people are just in their own way, and sometimes, I mean, things. Sometimes, don't get me wrong. Sometimes things are just hard and they suck. Um, but I think the holidays are fun. All right, so I got that one preliminary done. So I'm setting all these up so that way all I got to do is just, you know, I can just put ink right on top of that. All right, so let's go ahead and knock out Aurora because she's, like I said, you get moved to the front of the line, and then I'll come back and start working on the rest of these. Alrighty. I got to move all my stuff out the way. All right, I never heard of this character, so this is going to be a new one for me. It's probably going to be a very pretty person. Okay, so who do we got? Oh, okay, I know who this is. All right, I know who this is. I've seen this character before. Okay, let's get this lady done. This is going to be fun. All right, Aurora's going to go down here in this lower corner, and I'll get her cut out later. All right, so there's a whole bunch of different versions of Aurora. You want her in the black costume with the star? Excuse me. All right, so let's get this up. And, all right, so I'll wait for your response on that one, but I think what I'm going to do for her, let's see if we can do her flying. So if I do her flying, head's got to be up. Maybe we'll go like this, like her body twists a little bit. I got the little center line, but it's got to twist out like this. I don't know if I like that. I think I'm gonna pass on that one. I don't like that look. I think I'm gonna change my option here. Like as far as like how she's turned. Where did my eraser go? All right, so we're gonna get rid of this. Looks better. Yeah. Maybe we can get her. I'm trying to think of what's going to be the best option for her because I really want it to look dynamic, and that pose was not doing it. I mean, I just saw some pictures the other day. What was I on? I was on Instagram, and they took all of the characters from Big Bang Theory, and they've turned them into Fantastic Four characters. It's so cool. Just really, really dope. Let's go get this book. Got that. And all right, cool. Oh man, this weekend is going to be so amazing. I mean, I already know that I'm doing the show, but what's going to make this weekend more amazing is that they got that Predator Badlands coming out, and I know a lot of people are talking about it, and it looks amazing. I just hope it's going to be good. That's my thing. It's a very different take on that franchise. But if you've had a chance, I don't know if you had a chance to see a V, but they just had the animated Predator come out. Oh my god, it's so good. So good. All right, so we're gonna push her a little bit. Yeah, I'm so looking forward to seeing a good one. Okay, I'll definitely make sure she's got that black one. You gonna go check out the new Badlands movie, the Predator one? So that good, good, good. I can't wait to touch base with you and see what your thoughts are on it. Yeah, I think it's my most anticipated movie for the fall, next to like Wicked. Those are my two big ones for the year. I saw one of my more anticipated movies was I was really looking forward to Smashing Machine. That one kind of tanked. I won't say it was bad. I just I think I was expecting a little bit more from it. I didn't do a lot of reading until the very end when it was coming out about what how they were approaching it because I didn't realize it was just going to be from this small period. It basically was almost a replica of his documentary that they did, um, and I wish it had been more. I would have loved to know more about the actual person than just this period of time when he OD'd. It would have been definitely much, much better. Why am I can't find my pencil? I might actually have to go out and go buy new pencils this week now. Sucks. I don't have the ones that I need. See if my trying to see if I have my 9. It's working. I have the 9, but I don't know why the lead is not working. Good. So V, you got a favorite movie? It's weird. There's something blocking up in there. Oh, dang it. I think I just broke my pencil lead inside of my pencil. Oh, you're a better man than me. I I think it was just for me. I love the experience of going to the movies. I have I do have favorites. So I have like Armageddon. It's probably one of my favorite movies I've ever seen. You got Beauty and the Beast is one of my favorite animated movies, up there with Akira and Ninja Scroll. Those are some of my favorites. All right, I've already done it. I want to do one that's really cool. All right, let's do. I got to do something dynamic. I just don't know what I want to do. See, I can't. I wish I could do that. Then it would be like a different experience every time you go to watch that movie. Like my brain doesn't operate that way. I have to be able to um, jump in there, and I know it's a movie that I'm gonna like. I can turn it on, and it's like noise almost when I watch it. For example, like if I watch, I shouldn't say noise. I should say something that's fun and I can sit down and watch. Um, so for example, like what is it? Civil War. Civil War is one of my all-time favorite action movies. Never saw anything like it, at least on that level as far as a superhero movie goes. And when that came out, I was just in awe of the design and all of the character building. Because whenever you do a movie with large amounts of characters in it, you run the risk of having a very horrible movie. Case in point, Batman and Robin, bad movie. Um, but when they did this, they the Russo brothers were able to make every character important. And for me, as a person that loves movies, I want to make sure that every character has importance, and they were able to do that in spades. And I want to continue seeing stuff like that. So when it comes to those movies, I that movie I could literally start from any spot and I will watch it till the end. Same thing with like Infinity War. More so on Infinity War than Endgame. But I wish I could kind of turn my brain off and do that. Um, National Lampoons is the best Christmas movie for me. Yeah, I mean, I get that. I can watch The Grinch That Stole Christmas. Not the cartoon one, the one that Jim Carrey did. Still, banger. Every year. We watch Christmas with the Cranks. Again, another banger. Great, great movies. All right, there she goes. Struggling there for a minute to get Aurora going. I think I figured it out though. There we go. All right, so we got her. All right. I'm happy with it now. Just had to figure it out. All right, so we're getting the first one almost done. Just got to make sure I don't lose her arm in all of this. But I think I might because of the type of hair she's got. I'd rather preserve the hair than preserve the arm. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I get it. Age of Ultron was not one of my favorites out of that series. I have the same perspective when it came to watching Rogue One. I watched Rogue One, and I was so pissed when I got out of the movie. I didn't like it at all. Like I was so against it, and it took me rewatching it. And after rewatching it, I'm like, this is one of the best Star Wars movies that they've ever made. Just from a character standpoint, I think I was so just laser focused, like most of the people that watched Star Wars, and we're all about, hey, where are my sword fights? And as you get older, you kind of look at things from a different perspective. You start looking at it. The characters make the movie, not all of the action. If that's the movie that you're going for, but if you're trying to have lots of characters, you have to give depth to those characters. And Age of Ultron is one of those ones where you look at Ultron and you appreciate him more the more times you see him. It's one of the reasons why I think once you see Vision Quest, I think it's going to make you like Ultron's movie even more because we're actually going to get to see James Spader outside of the costume or outside of the CG, I should say. I saw the first season of Andor. I need to watch the second. My brother said it was fantastic, and all the reports I've read, they think it should be going up for an Emmy. Was it that good? See, that's the thing. I mean, Andor was given such good depth, and it wasn't all about the starfighters and all these other things. I think that's one of the reasons why it was so successful. When you look at, they did that one show with the kids recently that came out. That show again, it wasn't about all the fighting and everything. It was about the characters. You got invested in the characters. Then the same thing can be said when you're talking about the original Star Wars movies. It's about the characters. That's why we like the originals. That's why we don't like anything else past that because the world isn't really well built to support those characters. I mean, Andor is a very cool individual, but the events that happen around him, one, they make sense, and two, it's not they're not so much focused on all of the CG, which takes away from the whole experience. Yeah, I agree. I wish Skeleton Crew would get another season because I really I feel if they do it right, it would be really good because it literally is it's Goonies in space. It is legitimately that's what it is. And because I love Goonies, that's why I like that series even more. Ooh, I didn't have to sacrifice the hand. I just went ahead and put it in a different spot. That worked out really well. Yeah, buddy. Pull that part all in. Sweet. I was able to save that. That kind of worked itself out. All right, so Aurora is ready for ink. So she gets ink and color. So all these are going to be dope in ink and color. So I cannot wait. It's going to be awesome. All right. So that's Aurora. She's good. Now I'm going to get you set up for the next ones. All right. I wonder how many I can get on here. All right, there's some paper. All right, so let's get this guy all set up. Do not want to write on that. So these are 11. So 2.5. That's 10. Okay, so I can do 4 of those across if I do it right. I'm going to have to do this from the bottom. And then 17. So 3.5. Yeah, agreed. I mean, they were able to round out the stories for all the characters very, very well. They needed to have that depth for every character. I don't really think that there was a character that people did not like in that series. Even then, the antagonist, they enjoyed. Get 16 on there. $14 and 3 inches. Okay. Yeah, but Jude Law is like he's a very underrated actor. He is fantastic. How you doing, Jesse? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, Jude Law is an underrated actor. Even when I think out of like Captain Marvel, that whole movie, I completely dislike that movie. I'm on that train that does not like that movie. Anywho, he was not the problem that I had with that movie. He was actually one of my favorite parts of that movie. Again, he makes a great antagonist. He's perfect in that role. If you ever take a look at Millennium Man, I'm sorry, not Millennium Man. It's called AI, Artificial Intelligence. That came out years ago. Um, he was really good in that, like superb. Sorry about that. I really do apologize. All right, so I have to do a 16th of an inch. Yeah, I mean it not only is it great world building, but again, those the characters in there. And I will always say this about a movie or any TV show. If you don't create good characters, nobody is going to give two craps about the show. That's why a lot of these things fail so often. And as a viewer, it's very frustrating. I mean, Game of Thrones, the reason why Game of Thrones really worked well is because, again, it was great character building. The reason that I feel that the third movie or the eighth season of Game of Thrones did not work is because you didn't give a squat about the characters. It was all about this big battle. All right, so we're going to go to 2.5 out of that bad boy. Yep, I can. No, I can't. I don't know why I can't get 2.5 out of this. This is weird. So if it's 10, Should be able to get a quarter inch out of it. Oh, that's why. I mismeasured. That's why. Okay. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I can't measure for stuff. That makes sense. Let's try that again. Yeah, I'm looking forward to 2026 is going to be a really good year to see what they're able to do in the movie sphere and even in the TV sphere. I think it's going to be a big challenge for our streaming services. TV is kind of doing this like downward slope. I think people are becoming less and less invested because it's the quality of TV is not as good as it used to be. So I don't know if they're not trying hard enough or whatever, or maybe the stations, the companies themselves are putting more money behind streaming. But also on the streaming end, streaming is not like the shows for streaming are not as strong as they could be. In my opinion, I look at them like, why can we not have like the best of both worlds? Like we would get we get a season on TV every year, and they've even broken it up where they have a spring and a fall season, right? Why can we not do that with streaming services? Where is the disconnect? And I don't. I guess it's because I don't understand a lot of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. But I'm like, why does it take so long for us to get seasons of a show? Right? If you look at it, we have shows like Invincible. That makes sense because it's an animated show. But we get shows like I'm not even gonna say Stranger Things because that wouldn't be up to par. What's a good one that would have been? Mm, who's got one that's like smaller? There's like an Office series show that they have, like even the Newsroom that they have for um, Apple TV. Now I understand that they have more notable actors and actresses, but to have 2 years where you are trying to make things work, I don't understand that. Yeah, Jesse, I don't understand that. Why did it take 2 years for us to get that? I don't get it. It's not like it had a ton of CG. I mean, it was limited in the amount that it had. Was it the schedule for their lead actor, John Cena? I don't know. I don't know. But I want to figure out that so I can understand it because streaming services are charging us, the viewers, so much money per month. So, like for example, my Netflix I think is like $25 a month, right? And Netflix, I have original content that comes from Netflix, but that's not why I buy Netflix. I get Netflix because I prefer the international content that they started licensing in, right? They've been doing it for a while, but that's one of their strongest things. When I saw what's the name of that series? Um it's like a robbery series. Um but when I saw that, I got to look it up. Now I got to look it up. um they did a spinoff called Berlin. I got to take a look at it. Let me see if I can find it here. Sorry, I hate to be sidetracked, but I need to know what I'm talking about before I jump in. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so okay, there it is. It's called Money Heist. Right, you said you got it. The heist. So why is it that we had the money heist? It came on during a period of time, and it wasn't very long. Like it caught fire in Spain, then it caught fire here in the United States, and we're talking 3 seasons of this show that they created within a matter of, I would say, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years, that they were able to create, do all of the special effects and all that stuff, and then distribute it out on Netflix. in a 3-year span. Why can't we not do that now? I don't understand that. You're going to charge me all this, large amount of money, and American TV can't do the same. I wish I knew more about it so that way I could speak to it a little bit better because it's frustrating as a viewer. There's shows I'm sitting on right now, like I want to see, come to fruition, and I'm like, dude, come on. Is it that you didn't write for it? Did you not anticipate? And I also know this that they do have like Netflix has got this thing where they stop at like a 3 seasons because once they hit they go for that fourth season, that's when they have to kind of renegotiate the contracts for the actors and actresses. I get it. The other part to it is that on streaming services, you run a risk. Like it's taking a chance. It's more of a chance than what you do on regular TV, right? Because your audience is different because the audience now gets to pick and watch what they want to watch at their leisure. Whereas with regular TV, they're programmed to watch it when it comes on. Yeah, it's such a weird thing. It's so different. I mean, I like the fact that, Netflix and, even HBO, Hulu, they're taking these massive swings at things. Earth X, sorry, not Earth X, but Alien Earth. Oh my God, such a good movie or a good series. But I'm waiting for them to go ahead and announce that they're going to do another one because it was so well done. That's one of those things where they throw out there and they hope that it's going to win, but they put a massive marketing push behind that. That the marketing push for that series started a year before it actually came out. They didn't start doing like the big push until the end, but it was great. It was a fantastic series. I mean, Welcome to Derry, from what I've heard, I haven't seen it yet, but it's on my to watch list because I really want to get a couple of episodes in before I watch it. Because I don't want to do that week to week thing until I know I'm going to enjoy it. Um, I hear that that is a fantastic series, and I want to check it out. But the whole story behind like a Pennywise is like very interesting. Oh man, yeah, the raid, yeah. I want to see great series pop off. Like, think about it. How is it that we got ourselves a Squid Game? We got 3 seasons of Squid Game, right? In a short period of time. Same thing with Alice in Borderland. How does that work? I don't understand that. That doesn't make any sense to me. Oh, I got a lot of people in here today. Cool. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Okay. Good to see everyone in here. Let me see who I got up on here. Who's popping in? All right. Let's see what's going on there. It's weird. I can see people on one side, but not on the other. That's really odd. Hey, James, how you doing? Yeah, we're just talking like stuff about, series. I just want to feel like I'm getting my money's worth. That's basically what it comes down to. And right now, I don't feel like I'm getting my money's worth. Even in some of the movies I watch, I don't feel like I'm getting that. Oops. Let's go 1, 2. Yeah, I would love to see like what they can pull off here. They just like I just saw that like their documentaries are really good. That's one of the things that HBO used to do really good. But Netflix is like, I mean, kicking ass every time they pull out one. All right, so let's see what this looks like. Okay, cool. This is gonna work. Wasn't sure, but it's gonna work. Not by much, because this paper is not 11 inches wide. This is a lie. This paper is not 11 inches wide. It's under 11 inches. This is frustrating. I'm like sitting up here. I'm thinking I'm not knowing how to do measurements. No, I know it's not me. It's the paper. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking. I just saw a good documentary yesterday. If any of you are fans of John Wick, there's a new uh, series or new documentary called Wick is Pain, and it is awesome because you get to see how this whole thing went down. I mean, it goes through all of the Wick movies and how it actually came to fruition. It's such a cool behind the scenes treat. And because I love that genre of movie, for me, because I grew up watching the style of movies that these directors um, gained influence from, I'm definitely now. You know that there's a series, and I hate that this bothered the shit out of me, but I'm going to put it out there. There was a series called The Brother's Son, and it starred Michelle Yeoh. Now, I think they were kind of like banking off the fact of Michelle Yeoh being in the series that it was going to push it to a bigger height than what it was. Don't get me wrong, Michelle Yeoh is dope. Like she's one of the best, you know, TV martial artists that you're gonna or martial artists you're gonna see in film. However, she is not the one that they should have banked on. I mean, it wasn't just her. I mean, she was a minor part in this whole thing. Like she was like probably the smallest part. I kind of equated to her. If you ever see Crazy Rich Asians, that's kind of her role in this series. I mean, of course, she had more screen time. Don't get me wrong, but as far as like her unique role in it, that's what it was. It wasn't super huge because it was a story about two brothers and their issues that they had with each other. And the way they set it up, it should have done way better than it did because it was fantastic. It really was. The martial arts were great in it. All of the characters were fantastic, but unfortunately, just did not do well. Maybe one day we'll see it come back. Who knows? Yeah, we'll see. I just want to see some cool things pop up. Definitely do. All right. So, V, I'm getting your paper set up here. I'm learning a hard lesson that this what I was given was incorrect. So they told me it's 11 by 17, but this damn paper is not 11 by 17. It's actually under, well under. This is a lesson to anybody that is an artist. Okay. It's not to say that you don't believe what you buy, but remember, this thing goes through a machine. And when you use a scissor, a chopper to cut paper, it's going to be a lot thinner than what you think it is. Like you're going to lose stuff. So bear that in mind when you buy your stuff. And if you're going to measure, measure from the outside inward. Do it that way. That way you don't mess up your stuff. Or measure from the center outward. So if I was going to do like a 9 by 12 on here, I would cut it down the center, go 4.5 that way, 4.5 this way, 6, 6 that way. So that way I don't shortchange anybody. Because like this paper was not correct. 1, 2, 3. Cool. So this will be a 4 by 4 piece. I'll be very happy with this. I'm gonna cut this with an X-Acto, or actually with a blade. This stuff will look really good. See how little that is? See how much less that is? It's off. Okay, there we go. No, it's hard to see, but I can see it, and that's all that matters. Nothing like a blue line pencil. And 2026 is going to be a good year, guys. A very good year. Got to speak that stuff into existence. I mean, I don't know how many of you out there are like spiritual and whatnot, but I am. And I know I'm blessed. So that's why I can say that I'm going to have a great 2026. I'm going to have it's going to be, I'm going to be doing things that I never would have thought I did. Like this is one of those things that I never thought I would do. But it sat on me for a little bit. And I was like, I'm freaking doing this. Because I'd never done something like this. So because it sat on me, I said, hell yeah, I'm doing it. I'm not doing this I can't crap anymore. I mean, or I don't have time stuff. No, we have time. We have to make time. There's a character from which movie was he from? He was from The Matrix 2, right? Matrix Reloaded. There's a character in there called the Merovingian, and he was at a scene with Morpheus and Neo, and he even said it to him. He goes like, "How do you expect to ever have time if you don't ever make time?" And that it's very profound, and it's always sat with me. And I'm like, "Damn it, that is true." I would always tell my wife, I'd be like, "I'm so busy. I don't have time. I've been busy. I can't do that. I was busy." Well, You were busy because you never made time to not be busy. You just got to adjust the schedule. One, two, three. Okay. And then that up. And then one, two, three. And that is all she wrote. Look, man, I say it how it is. If people don't like it, that's not on me. I mean, it will eventually hit them. It's taken me a long time to kind of understand all that stuff. I mean, when I was much younger, people will try to speak some truth to me, and I'll be like, "Yep, yep." But now I'm just like, I want other people to know what I know, and I'm just going to pass on the lesson. So you take what you want. It's kind of like a buffet. Here it is. If you want it, take it. If you don't, guess what? You're going to sit back one day and be like, "Shit, I should have listened to that person." I mean, one father figure that I had in my life, this guy named Paul. I stopped drawing for like years. And I really wanted to be in comics. And I don't know what it was. I think I just got busy with life. But I would put my time into doing like cross stitch and stuff like that. But it's always something built into the arts, but it wasn't specifically drawing. And I came over to his house for an event one day, and I was hanging out with his son because me and his son are like best friends. Um, he comes up to me one day, just and grabs me on the shoulder. And goes like, "Look, you still drawing?" And I said, "No." And he goes, "Why not?" It's like, I just haven't been." He goes, "Listen to me. You're very good at what you do. You're very talented. That's a gift. You need to use your gift before you lose your gift." And how you doing, Riley? Um, or if it's Riley, I apologize if I messed up. But him just telling me that information changed my life. Like from that day. And I've said this to people in numerous conversations. I said it to him when he passed away, like in the goodbye letter that I made for him. I was like, this is huge because you're the one that gave me that advice, and I have never stopped doing what you said because I enjoy art. My kids enjoy art, and that's just something that we share. My grandkids enjoy art. My wife enjoys art. We love doing those kind of things, and all that stuff came about because um, of the arts, a shared love for it. And I'm very happy that that's the case. All right, so we got Aurora. We're gonna go Invisible Woman. Invisible Woman, Magic, Hella. Oh, Hella's gonna be fun. Emma Frost. Kitty Pryde. Jack Sparrow. Let's see how to spell that guy's name. uh, oh, that's the same guy from Criminal Minds? I did not know that. Okay, we're gonna go Rufio, the one with the. I think he's the one with the. Yeah, he is. That's what I thought. Rufio. Yeah, and I mean, if anything, you know what, V, this particular challenge is a very good example of that because I think about it like this. I got this word of doing 1,000 of something, and then I got further word that I was going to be doing 1,000 sketch cards. I got excited, but then I sat back and I'm like, holy shit, this is going to be a lot of work. But then I was like, I've already done 750. And those 750 were, now mind you, the 750 were were double the size of the cards I'm doing now. So look, this is the size card that I used to do. This is the size of card that I'm doing right now. So if you think about it, like really think about it, real estate wise, I've already done it and then some. So I can do this with no issues. I just have to sit down and do it. And those little wins are important. That's why you got to make time to do those things. Wins are the most important thing in life. That's one of the reasons. Like I talk to because I'm a teacher and I teach college classes and stuff like this. So I tell people I'm like, you want to get your high school diploma. I don't even talk to them about college yet, but I'm talking about high school. And they're like, I don't understand why all these teachers give me homework and blah blah blah. I'm like, listen, there's a bigger plan to all of this, which you don't see. Okay. You writing a paper sets you up for things that are going to go down the road where you have to write reports for the work that you're doing or ideas that you want to implement. Let's make it very clear. When you want to implement an idea for a business, you not only have to come up with the idea, name the idea, but then you actually have to explain the processes for those ideas. And you can't just do that verbally because most people when they hear you talk, some of the people in the crowd are going to be like, blanking out. Whereas other people that were blanking out during your speech, they can read the information, retain it, or if they forget something, they can go back to it. It's way easier if they have to reference something going back to something than them having to always come to you and ask it because you might not be available. So that's where that little small, win will help you. Math, huge. If you own a business, math is one of your biggest skills because it's either you're writing something or you're doing something for numbers, right? If you own a business, you have to know math because you got to know where your money's going. Right. I mean, if you want to give money away to your staff charity, go for it, and then your business will go under. But realistically, no, you need to know that kind of stuff. You need to know where all your money is going, whether you're buying supplies, whether you are paying employees, whether you're paying your insurance. Knowing that is just simple. That's a basic thing. Even this, when I was doing this layout, I had to know the math of this ruler, right? I didn't know where a quarter inch was. I needed to know where a half inch was. That kind of stuff, And that's one of the things why I say you get your high school diploma at bare minimum because that's a huge achievement. Not a lot of people, get a high school diploma. So you're already ahead of the game. Now, if you realize, okay, well, now I can finish my high school diploma, why don't I go to college or go to a trade school? What's stopping you? Well, you, because the resources are out there. The good part is when you're an undergrad or you're going to these trade schools, they want to bring people in. You just got to find the resources and put in the work to get it. Putting in all that work in high school is actually a good thing. So, like here in Florida, we have something called Bright Futures. I'm not sure if that's the same thing where you're at, V, but Bright Futures is basically money that's pulled from our local lottery and it's put into this pool. So if you are a high school student that hits a certain number on their SAT scores and gets a certain GPA through their high school career, you're allotted an amount of money that will cover your tuition and your books. I mean, that's pretty damn good. But that's you putting in the time, that's you putting in the work to go ahead and get the rewards. And that's the thing, kids don't think that like that. And that, like, as parents, that's what our job is to do, to kind of help them and guide them to, greener pastures. And I speak this to them all the time. These kids that get so pissed off about having to do, countless amounts of work and whatnot, it does make sense. It seems like it's tedious. It seems like it's a big pain in your butt. It seems like it's taking you away from time from your friends and whatnot, but it's making you better. Okay. Hopper. Sorry, I'm just trying to write this stuff down. Bugs. If you want to be a lazy person, be a lazy person. Just don't be lazy around me because I don't got time for you. Yeah, bright futures is huge. And I tell my kids, like, I have a lot of ninth graders that I get to work with, thank goodness, and even college students that I work with. I'm like, if I was to tell you that there's $50,000 waiting for you after you get done with high school, that'll pay for you to do other things, and all you have to do is graduate with X amount of GPA, would you not? Would you take it? And some of them are like, "What?" And I said, "Yeah, that's out there for you. I mean, you want to go to college, you want to go, do trades or whatever. Well, that money is there for you. But if you don't put in the work now, you're never going to get that. It's about time in. I mean, I'm never going to get to be as buff and as strong as a football athlete if I don't put in a regiment that is equal to what they do. I'm never going to become a great artist if I don't put in the time to create the art that I want. And unfortunately, a lot of kids think, "Oh, I'm going to be a social media star and all this." Man, you need to get off that high horse because that's never going to happen. That realm of becoming somebody that's going to be, you know, famous in this workplace, it's literally like a 1 to 2% of the people that are actually on these social media platforms. The part that a lot of these kids don't really think about is that when it comes to doing social media, like say for example, you are, we'll just say a Kim Kardashian or even Mr. Beast and stuff like that. That is their job. Okay. They have to keep up the image. They have to keep up the ideas. And that's one of the reasons why they have to hire people, because eventually they've gotten to a point where they're exhausting all of their ideas, and also their hands are in a whole bunch of different pots. Sorry, I'm trying to grab a picture. All right. So you just got to think about it from that aspect. And when you're trying to help these kids out, if you're talking to them, if you're trying to enlighten them, that is the way to do it. The kids are, especially now, I should say. Kids now are at such a disadvantage. I think it's very much unfair. Go Invisible Woman. Sorry, I just gotta pull a reference real quick. I'll continue my point. Okay, so my point is that um, a lot of these kids are at a disadvantage because, yeah, and here's the thing: the kids are at a disadvantage on a couple of different levels. They are in this rush cycle, like they have to have instant gratification. That is like the norm nowadays, and it's a horrible reality, but that's what they're in. And when you think about it, if you don't get something, if you don't get results like right then and there, your world is destroyed. Now, as far as a child goes, think about it like from a little kid. Like if they didn't get the admiration that they wanted from their parents or from their teacher or from their friends when they went ahead and did something, no matter how big or how small it is, they didn't get it. They're crushed. Now, these kids see other kids online pulling off all of these things. Like the whole thing, like the JoJo Siwa thing, was like because they're like, I'm going to go ahead and get all of this and get all of that. My face is going to be everywhere, and parents are pushing that and all that kind of good stuff. And the reality is that you have to have realistic goals. If you want to be a megastar, just know that you have to sacrifice something to get to that level. And also realize that if that's not your God-given talent, like my God-given talent is not dancing. I have to work even harder to get to that level. And I have to understand that I'm going to have to work hard to get to that level. That's the part that people don't get. Like there has to be some give and take, some realistic understanding. And the parents, we have to kind of guide these kids. We have to support the things that they want, the goals that they want to achieve. And also be mindful of the fact that when we do support them, we also have to let them know, hey, look, I know you want to do this, but keep in mind that you only have X amount of time to do the things that you want to do. If you want to hang out with your friends, know that your time is going to be limited because you want to do this other thing. Okay. You may not be able to get a job because you want to be in travel sports, or you may want to have a job and that won't allow you to play on that team that you want to play on. These are the realities that as a parent we have to really let them know about. Um, but also encourage them to utilize their talents and their gifts. 10 years from now, when we look at everything, if we continue on the path, and I'm saying adults and kids, if we continue on this path where we want to continue being lazy and utilizing things that are going to make us more lazy, we are going to find that we're going to run into a bigger problem. If we start making the tools the norm, then we're going to have an issue. I mean, I bring it up on pretty much on a daily basis where I talk to people about like automated systems and I talk about automated systems and AI systems and all this stuff. And I think they're great from a graphic design. Um, what is this? Hold on one sec. I got to figure out what's going on here. because somebody sent me some kind of link and I don't know what this is. Using iOS or okay. Wow, oh, that's weird. Follow the link. That's weird. Okay, let me fix this really fast, guys, because something's going on here. It's making me do something. I don't know why. Hang on just 1 second. All right, let me find out why what is this? I don't understand. Never seen that before. All right, so we'll just have to hold off on that. That's fine. I don't know who that is. All right, but anyway, like 10 years from now, when we look at all of this stuff, like I said, we're continuing on this path where people are being lazy as shit and using AI to do a lot of things. We're going to be stuck. I mean, a big case in point of this was a couple of weeks ago, Amazon's network for their wireless systems went down. And mind you, that was for a day. I mean, a majority of the day, or actually, it might have been half the day, I think. But it crippled a lot of the systems that were out there. So, for example, a lot of the schools use Canvas to do their curriculums, to send out emails. Basically, as a hub for students to get connected. Okay. Well, that went down. So, like myself, I put all my curriculum on there. I put all my videos, my resources, all that stuff on there, and nobody can access it. Nobody can give me any of their assignments because now we don't have that. So, that being the case, now we have this thing where we have to really have a backup plan. We have to teach people how to work when the system is broken. And we'll get there. I have no doubt in my mind if we just keep on being vigilant at teaching people how to survive without having all the toys, I have no doubt we'll be fine. Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. I didn't get bothered by it. I mean, I've been around since before the internet was, the internet, um, like mainstream internet, I should say. So I was a dial-up kid, and you have to keep in mind, like when it came to dial-up, if somebody walked up and you guys had one phone line in your house, because I had this happen. If you had one phone line in your house and somebody picked up that line and you were trying to go on a bulletin board system and download something, which basically was like a private chat board, um, and somebody picked up the phone line, your large download that you were doing was done. Like you would have to start all over again because it would be corrupted. It's crazy when you think about it, but that's what used to happen. And people don't know how to survive without their devices. They absolutely do not. And we got to get back to a point where we can start being more self sufficient. I cannot stand going into a restaurant like a McDonald's. I don't shop. I don't really go there that often anymore. But going into a McDonald's or even going into a Taco Bell and you have a kiosk, I thought the idea was kind of genius when they brought it up as a concept. But when I saw it in reality, I'm like, this is what happened. Instead of the kiosk being an additional platform to kind of speed up production, that's not what it does. And this is in most McDonald's. You will notice that the employees are less engaged and less sense of urgency. Yeah, less sense of and yes, I completely agree. 100%. I mean, I can tell you personally from my personal experiences, reading a book on a computer or reading a book on a tablet is not the same as reading a tangible physical book. It is there the whole idea is completely different. When somebody tells me, "Oh, I read 12 books this year," and they're like, "Yeah, they were audiobooks." Like, you didn't read the book. You didn't read the book. You listened to the book. You didn't read the book. Okay. Do you read the radio? No, you listen to the radio because it's an audible thing. But yeah, I agree. Opening a book is huge. I would literally make it a requirement in school nowadays. I'd be like, listen, in sixth or eighth grade, you are going to read this book called Fahrenheit 451. That is mandatory reading. You don't get around that at all. Especially now. That like needs to be like a non-negotiable. This is your book and you need to read it from cover to cover. Yeah, but they need to read that because Fahrenheit 451 is a reality of what could happen. Could you imagine a world where somebody goes, "Oh, guess what? Since you guys aren't reading these books, you're not touching them, and I have tons and tons of libraries that are being utilized with public resources. We're going to go ahead and get rid of all those libraries and all the books that were part of that library. We're not going to give them away. We're just going to burn them, turn them into kindling. And then guess what? If you want to read one of those books, you're going to have to pay to go ahead and come to our subscription service and buy it." Yeah, that is a reality of something that could happen. 100%. 100%. Hey, Tara, welcome to the stream. Um, yeah, it's scary. I really worry about my kids. I worry about um, my grandkids, all of that stuff when it comes to the future. It's real. The more technology that we have opens the door for more laziness. It's sad to believe it, but that's the reality that we're living in. We're in a world where it's okay to stay home and not connect with people. We're in that realm. You have to go out and talk with people. We're in a realm where it's easier for us to send a text message than it is to call someone on the phone. That human interaction is important. These basic skills that we have, like cooking, we've gone from cooking to door dashing. So we'll spend more money to DoorDash than we will to come to our own home, buy the ingredients, learn how to cook the ingredients, and spend a quarter of the money. We're in that realm. Oh, we don't have time to go ahead and cook. No, you choose not to make yourself available to cook. There's plenty of meals that you can do in under 20 minutes. How you doing, Link? Welcome to the stream. There's plenty of stuff, and people just are on the lazy kick. And what's going to end up happening, and this is the brilliant part, okay? And this is for people that understand value. So the people that know how to do those things, okay, are either going to be removed from the system completely. Like, say, for example, people that know how to read, okay, they're powerful people because they can go in and they can actually read information and comprehend it and then be able to articulate that to other people. Those are important people. Now, to gain control, you take that person off the board, and then the people above everybody else can dictate what happens. That's what happened. That's the reality of what can happen. That's how systems are run. The people at the top have the power because the people below them have less know-how and less understanding of what's going on. And we as people need to stop moving so fast and really start looking at what's going on. Especially America. There is no reason why all of America needs to be running at a hustle's pace, at a hustle pace. Like we don't need all that. All right. I think we got her ready to rock and roll. Yeah, we just got to slow down. Slow down, smell the roses. You know what I think would serve Americans best is if we could go to another country that's not America, right? Go to another country that doesn't have the hustle and bustle like we do. Okay, go to Puerto Rico. Go to hell if you want to go and keep it in the United States. Go over to Hawaii. Go to. Oh, I'm gonna change your eyes. I don't like those. Um, go to London. Go to Scotland. Go to European countries and really go into their countries. Don't. I'm not talking about the major cities. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about going to the cities or like go to the countryside and stuff like that, and get to know what that's like because the environment is completely different. It is 100% different. People treat people with fucking respect, and they understand people's value, people's worth. And I think once we get there and we start respecting each other, we're going to see so much of a difference. If we start doing that and we start looking at people, stop trying to be so, oh, it's all about me, 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 me. No, talk about taking care of your neighbor because we used to be at a point in time where we were like that. And because we're all in a hustle, always trying to one up the next person, we forget about that. When you start doing for others, you're going to start seeing your life become more prosperous. You're going to start finding the ideas that you need to do to make the things happen that you want to have happen. But that only happens when you start taking care of other people. It only happens when you stop being lazy and start implementing the things that you've been given. That's it. It's that simple. I think her leg is a little thick. All right, so I'm gonna have to get off here in just a couple minutes. V, I got a couple things that need my attention, so I got to take care of those. But I'm definitely going to be doing this. Hey, Shannon, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I mean, I feel so bad, like, when you say about like, that cursive thing really it bothers me a lot because there are studies that show learning how to do cursive actually helps people kind of focus, and it also helps people learn how to write and understand how pen pressure works and how to move their arm, and they don't end up with a whole bunch of, issues with their arms and whatnot. So there are studies that follow that. But unfortunately, we're at an age where we're gonna have people that definitely need to that have to let me back up. We're at an age where there's gonna be a clear divide between the people that are above and the people that are below. There's not gonna be a middle ground. There's gonna be the power and the powerless. We're getting to that point. Like where I live, there used to be a lower, middle, and a high class. Now it is getting to the point where the high class now is, way up here, and then you have like people that are in the lower class. The middle class is kind of getting squeezed out, and they're getting squeezed out either going up or they're going straight down, and it sucks. Yeah, just hoping that it's going to change one day soon. I'm going to do this one other one, and then I want to go. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I had to find a reference for this magic in her sword. Yeah, I mean, it sucked. Like this year was the year where I was like, hold on. So if you were making X amount on dollars, right? You would pay X amount in taxes, right? But now you could make way less and get charged out the wazoo. It sucks. And people just need to start being more aware of what's going on. That's the problem. And that's where the reading part comes into play. If you read, you'll understand how you're getting screwed over. But it takes you some time to really put your brain into play and be like, "Oh, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. You're not taking all of my money. I need to feed my kids. I need to be able to go out and do the things that I want to do." That's the only time that we get to a point where we're frustrated, right? When it starts affecting us. It should affect you before the problem actually occurs. Because those red flags should be like, whoa, hold up here. But we don't do that. We wait till the problem becomes a problem. Oh, let me get. All right, so I'm gonna do this big ass sword because I like this sword. Not gonna lie, magic sword's pretty awesome. Yeah, I feel bad for anybody that's in the middle class. No, it seems pretty. I feel bad for anybody that doesn't really open the books, ask questions, and then look for the answers for those questions. And then if you don't agree with it, why don't you just fight it? Or be like, the easiest way to fight something is not pay into it. Like for me, um, like my local movie theater is a good example of this. I didn't agree with the fact that they have, you know, people treat our movie theater like it's their fucking house. So what did I do? I stopped going to that theater. And then when I eventually went back, I went to the theater and I told people, I'm like, I don't go here anymore because you guys, one, your AC is horrible. Two, your people don't know how to act in your theater. You guys don't hold them accountable. And they're like, oh. And things I think and I hope are starting to change for them because I'm not the only person that said it. I know it's affecting their business because as a whole, the movie industry is down, right? Less and less people are going to the theater because they'll just wait for it to come out in at their house. If I'm going to act like I'm at my house, I'd rather pay less money and just watch it at my house. Or I'll pay a higher premium and go to a theater where people act like they got some sense. That's how you change things. But people don't put that into play. All right, your magic's coming together, my friend. She's looking good. Just double check my hair here. Run the hair down like that. Yeah, that'll look good. Because she's got these massive bangs. And then we have the. All right, I think I'm good with this one where it's at. I think I'm going to stop here because I really want to make sure that I work on the others today. All right, so V, I am going to call it for the day, but I have 3 of the 20 characters started. and I'm gonna knock them out one at a time. And uh, would you like me to just send you over like screenshots of each piece as I do it, or do you just want to be surprised when you get them? Okay, I will definitely keep you updated. So what I'll do is when I finish up this sheet, I think as I do a row, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just send those to you, and you'll get those in due time. I'm gonna try to work on them as quickly as I can, but I want to get them good and clean for you. If you have any concerns, questions, if you need to add anything to the list, let me know. Just message me on here and or message me on Instagram, and I'll update you from there. But I will be back on. I think I'm going to be back on next Friday. And I'm gonna try to get on next Tuesday. Those are my planned days that I have, and hopefully I'll see you on either of those days. If not, you'll definitely be getting messages from me, so that way you'll know what's going on. Sound like a plan? Perfect. Well, I hope you have a great weekend. Actually, you know what? I think I might be on here tomorrow too. Forgot today's Thursday, so I'll be working on some of this tomorrow too. It'll be briefly because I have to go do setup tomorrow, but definitely I'll be on here. So until then, until the next stream, I will see you guys later. Take care. Have a good one.